Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of the Rise Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, Carlo. Today, I would like to talk about a question that I've been asked quite often recently. Do you need a gym to work out and to get muscles to gain strength? Do you need that or you don't? What are the pros and cons of going to the gym or training with your own body weight? Are you curious to find out? Let's dive in. That's right. Here is something I have been asked multiple times. Carlo, I don't want to go to the gym as I am on a budget, but still want to build muscles and strength. Can I do it without a gym membership? And the answer to this is, without much further ado, yes. It is absolutely possible to still be able to do so without having to join any iron temple or to necessarily having to lift heavy weights, and you can do it in the comfort of your home or actually wherever you want. But just so you know, there are a couple of caveats here though, that I think are important to keep into consideration before completely erase any gym option from the equation. So let's have a look at them. The first thing is that not everybody has enough space at home to perform exercises in a safe way without destroying furniture or even worse, your bones. So safety first. There are workouts that you can follow on YouTube or on any workout apps, but they might require space that you do not necessarily have right at hand. And if every time you have to work out you need to move furniture around and reorganize your room, well, chances are you might just push today's training tomorrow or the day after tomorrow or to next time. That is to say, make sure to have a safe space to perform your exercises and possibly have it already set up, because removing obstacles to your workout, both mental and physical, will greatly increase the consistency. And you know this already, consistency is the key. The second point here is that working out at home consistently, requires a very strong motivation. When you're in the comfort of your sofa, it becomes very difficult to shake the brain from a lazy moment and force yourself to get a nice sweat. When you're watching your favorite TV show, eventually under the blanket on the sofa, having a snack, and the alarm rings excited. Hey man, it's workout time! But you snooze it. You just want to finish this episode and, oops, there you go, 3 hours passed. The workout window is gone down the drain. You set a new alarm for tomorrow, but, the pattern is the same. But hey, I get it, and I speak from my own experience. It's super hard to break the comfort of a lazy afternoon with the idea of training in your apartment. I find it very hard too, so what can you do about it? Let me give you some strategies for you to experiment on. Wear your favorite workout clothes while at home. Seeing you in the mirror with them on might trigger a workout impulse. Or have your training gear, yoga mat or anything else you use in clear sight and possibly already in position to, once again, trigger your workout desire. Lastly, if you listen to music while you're working at home, if you do remote working, how about you set your workout playlist to start when it's almost workout o'clock to get you in the mood. I do that myself sometimes too, and it really works. The third caveat is that simply using body weight could be an effective training to build some strength and muscles, provided that it gives your muscles a good challenge, otherwise it might not be enough. What I want to say here is that bodyweight training, when keeping it to basic movements and not jumping directly to the crazy calisthenics workout you see all over the internet, can be in some cases either way too easy. Imagine doing push-ups if you were used to do a lot of chest training at the gym before, or can be way too hard. Again, imagine to do a push-up if you either have never done a single one in your life, or, for example, you might be overweight, so you're very heavy or just undertrained. What can you do here? Well, the key word is progress. If you are already strong, try more challenging sets of bodyweight exercises by either increasing the number of reps or shortening the rest time. If you're still building your technique and strength, focus on 1 or 2 exercises at a time and study how to progress from the simplified beginner version to the regular and more advanced ones. Having clarified these caveats, what are the pros and cons of not going to the gym? Let's go through the main pros. And let's start by saying the most immediate one. Training using your body is free. Saving the hard-earned cash in this COVID era is more than ever precious and relevant. Skipping the monthly gym membership can allow you to keep that budget for other and more important priorities, and generally for your savings or the you never know funds. Then, of course, you get to decide when you work out. No need to drive or physically go to the gym, and if the commute time is a big chunk of the time you spend out of your place to work out, well, you get what I mean. You can be way more efficient and don't have to waste time going back and forth. You can train at a local park and spend time outdoor, enjoying fresh air. Well, if it is allowed by your local COVID laws, of course. Eventually having the chance to meet other people doing the same and potentially finding workout partners and friends to keep the motivation up and build a routine. Of course, you can train with your other friends that are not gym members. Surely, bodyweight exercise, to some extent, might pose less risk of injury, even if the form is not 100% in place. Keep in mind that you can still hurt yourself if you have no idea what you're doing, so be careful no matter what. Surely you can follow YouTube workouts or use apps to have a menu at your fingertips. If you're more introvert or shy and don't like to have people's eye around you when you're training, by doing so in your place, you are in a safe space. Lastly, you can, if you have budget of course, buy simple tools to drastically improve the level of challenge of your workout. For example, loop bands, suspension training, dumbbells, and equipment that is way cheaper than a gym membership. Hey Carlo, this sounds really great. I wanna start tomorrow. Okay, hold on. You heard the pros, but what about the cons? Some of them are training some specific muscles, for example, the biceps or your back, with zero tools might be more complex and require a certain degree of familiarity and effort that are not necessarily easy to achieve or common knowledge. Progressive overload to achieve strength and muscle gains can be challenging and, again, require more effort than it would by using weights. Consistency here is even more important as the stimuli on the muscles can be way lower compared to what you have in the weight room, so you need to be working out very consistently to achieve results. As a consequence, as you become stronger, normal exercises might not be enough anymore. Therefore, having knowledge of different types of training styles becomes a key concept to progress further with the difficulty of your routines to provide more stimuli to your muscles versus simply increasing the weight in the gym. Surely, apps and YouTube follow-up workout are a valid method to use, but in some cases they might not cover the basics of the right form. So chances are you might be, unknowingly, doing wrong movements that can, in the long term, create you issues and make your efforts less efficient. Unless you have someone more experienced than you to train with, you won't have gym staff to help you correct your form or spot you to help. Another big one here is that if you end up buying tools that are too cheap or low quality, they might break easily, increasing the risk of hurting yourself, or if you use them with your furniture, they might break it and hurt you. One for all? Check on YouTube how many videos of loop bands snapping and hitting people's face are there, or videos of furniture collapsing on unlucky people that were using tools with them. The last thing here is that as the level of challenge can be way lower than you have in a gym, the risk of slowly abandoning the bodyweight workout routines because of lack of progress is around the corner, and motivation can be hard to keep up. But hey, far from wanting to scare you, let me share with you my story related to this. As some might remember, I am living in Tokyo, and the COVID outbreak here was not taken seriously as in other countries, but when we had around 300 cases a day in Tokyo only, during March 2020, the state of emergency was declared and all the gyms were shut down until a time to be decided. That, by the way, was then June 2020, but I didn't know at the time. In January 2020, I had joined Gold Gym and was training 2 hours a day, 5 days a week on a steady strength and muscle gain road. So you can imagine how pissed I was at the idea of being forced to stop and potentially lose everything I gained so diligently and with so much effort. During those times, I was working following a push-pull legs routine. But push-pull legs implies training 6 times a week. So I was training 5, therefore my legs part was spread between the push and pull. Just keep that in mind. My push days were basically chest, shoulders, and triceps, and my pull days were very simply back and biceps. Yeah, of course, in both cases I had some legs here and there, reasonably. Then I figured I should do the same type of training at the local park where there was a pull-up bar and at home in case of rain. As I was training at the gym 5 days a week, I had gained quite the strength you can imagine, so push-ups and pull-ups per se were not a huge problem to complete. So I decided to ramp up the menu to increase the challenge, therefore retain my strength and my muscles. On push days, I will do somewhat around 350 push-ups. Yeah, you heard it right. And then train my triceps using loop bands. And on pull days, I would do around 100 pull-ups and TRX assisted or suspension training assisted back and biceps training. Knowing that the challenge level was different than the gym, I had to be very consistent, and given that I did want to get out of the state of emergency with minimal losses and hopefully improvements, I kept on training like that for the entire time out of the gym. What did I find out when in June I finally went back? Well, I realized that my strength did not decrease much, but it actually improved. Honestly, it improved a lot to my surprise. I was able to do 7 sets of 11 pull-ups straight, and that was a huge leap forward, for example. All of this is to say that yes, you can build muscles and gain strength by doing body weight exercises, as long as you have a plan and, guess what? You are consistent. Oh, and I forgot, and you eat your proteins. So don't be discouraged. Chances are there, you just need to put your sweat into it. And that was it for today's episode. What do you think about it? Are you going to join a gym soon? Are you not? Please let me know on my Instagram channel at thecarl.fit. If you're enjoying this podcast and are listening to it through Apple Podcast, it would help me a lot if you could leave a 5-star review and if you could share that with your friends and family. Other than that, thank you for listening and have a great rest of the week. Bye bye!